And welcome to Corner Class Tampa. This is episode 26, and today we're going to talk about your superpowers. The superpowers that every high-powered real estate investor needs to succeed in today's market. If you're interested in learning your superpowers and how to take advantage of it, I'll see you on the other side. Stop your All right, and we're back. And today's show, we're going to talk all about superpowers, the superpowers that a top agent needs to succeed in today's market. But as always, we're going to start off the show with our special guest, Gilbert Bennett. Gilbert Bennett is going to talk about the market and the conditions of today's market. And let's see if we can bring Gilbert Bennett in. Gilbert.
Hey, David, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us what's going on in the market.
Well, I tell you, from a real estate perspective, you can probably speak to this. It's been extremely difficult right now to get appraisals in a timely manner. We're struggling. Appraisers are overwhelmed. There's a lot of transactions going on. We've seen some fluctuation in the mortgage market. You know, anytime we see inflation data, mortgage rates kind of take a nosedive because people are concerned the Fed's going to change rates and move inflation. But mostly what the Fed has said regarding the recent inflation information is that, of course, we're going to see a high year-over-year tick because there was no activity, no business activity last year, March, April, May, because of COVID. A lot of things were shut down. So we're, of course, going to see a high year-over-year tick. But on average, we are right in line with where they want to be, and they are not looking at increasing rates. So then the market's kind of calmed down a bit. We've seen a little bit of improvement on steady and daily in there. So, if you're looking at a conventional loan right now, you're probably looking at a rate somewhere between 2.99 and 3.25, depending if you have got pretty good credit and a reasonable down payment. If you're looking at a government-based loan, VA, FHA, you could be looking at rates anywhere from 2.3 to 2.75 with solid credit over 680 and qualifying for those programs. So investors, you should be looking for interest rates on investment property, I would say in the upper 3s to low 4s, depending on what you want to pay in terms of discount points and all. If you don't want to pay any, you may be looking for any discount origination, maybe looking for rates around the 5s. So just some things, tips on the market. Just keep your eyes peeled. Take action. If you see an opportunity you like a rate, lock it in. Right. If you still have the opportunity to make some funds on your cash flow, hit your cash flow goals on it. Don't worry too much about interest rate from a investor perspective. You want to worry about cash flow. What's my net cash flow off the property? Does it hit my goals for this particular property?
So Gilbert, tell me a little bit more about the rates on like the non-traditional qualifying loans.
Well, if we're using something like a debt service coverage loan, I know we've gone over that before, where the property itself, the projected rental income from the property is used to qualify you. Your probably starting rates are going to be in the low 5s for those because it's extremely limited documentation loans, usually just the appraisal and proof you have the assets to close. If we're doing bank statement loans for self-employed borrowers, those can be really, really competitive right now, low 3s. I've seen them as low as 3.25%, but of course on those you are going to pay discount points like you will or origination fees with any non-QM loan or alternative qualifying loan. But really, really competitive rates for primary residences, but also on investors. So for investors, you're looking at buying something with a bank statement loan as an investment property. You can be in the 4s, or if you can show bank statements, or like I mentioned, low 5s if you can do debt service coverage. So still a lot of opportunity to make good on those. All right.
All right. Well, Gilbert, as always, we appreciate you. I know that most of the time you're running to the next meeting, but if you can stick around, we're going to have some little fun with the superpowers that an investor need in today's market. Thanks again, Gilbert.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. All right. So as always, Gilbert provides is with My Easy Mortgage. He provides outstanding to-date market information, what's going on in the streets. Great company. We use them a lot for our investment. In fact, we partner with Gilbert for a couple of projects that we have. And so again, it's a great opportunity. And some of those non-traditional qualifying loans are always great if you cannot get a traditional loan. And for investors, again, it's all about your cash flow. It's all about your ROI, return on investment. And that's not necessarily, it's important to have good rates. That is true. But if you have to have a rate that's in a 5+ to get the deal, and you're going to make 30, 40,000, 50,000 on the deal, then your mortgage rates, because you're holding the property now for a very small amount of time, the necessary rate that you get is secondary, because you're going to sell that property within a few months. So that's something to think about if you are interested in investing in real estate. The way we acquire money, the way we use money and leverage our money is a little bit different than a standard buyer who is planning on buying a property and living in that property for 30 years. So something to think about. Gilbert Bennett, My Easy Mortgage, great guy. All right, so let's get into the superpower. The very first superpower that investors should have. And, I've been in the game 15 years now, and I have seen investors, all types of investors. So I have noticed over the years, over the decades, the top 6, 5 plus 6 superpowers that high yield investors that are making money, investors that are having more than one property per year, or multiple rehabs, or someone who is building small communities. They have these 6 superpowers that are very common throughout each. So I'm presenting them in no particular order, but let's go with superpower number 1. The power of gratitude, ability to live in gratitude each day. Now, I said I was presenting him in no particular order, and that is true. But if I had to rank all 6 of these, the power of gratitude, being grateful for what you have, your ability to work, you're grateful for your family, your higher power, your health. Just living in gratitude is probably one of the more important, if not the most important trait on this list. So being in gratitude, waking up, being thankful, treating people with respect, living in gratitude. So important, guys. So important, guys. Superpower number 1. Superpower number 2 is precognition, the ability to predict the future. Believe it or not, we just had Gilbert, who is a professional and who has his own superpower. He told us about the market and the ability. He talked about how he thought, based on projections that he have looked at and have studied, how the market may trend in the future. Well, as an investor, we do the same thing. If we know our market, if we are looking at the trends of that market, if we there's a daily hot sheet that investors should look at, the driving the market, the going to the meetings, so looking at the master plans, all those will help you predict the future. Some are more accurate than others. Of course, nothing is given, but you should be able to make some educated guesses, hypothesis on what's going to happen in the future based on your understanding your market, understanding your market. You may not know what's going on in Texas. You may not know what's going on in a different area, but understanding your market, you should be able to say, hey, listen, if I buy a property in this location, and this location is about to pop, then there's a lot of goodwill in this location, maybe a CRA or location, or maybe they may be putting in some infrastructure, and if they put in this type of infrastructure, then they're expecting that that area will grow. It might be time to look at buying property. So if you have an area where all of the big boxes are starting to move to, you kind of see the trend over time, and you see that the property values are going up. You see that in Tampa, we have an area where downtown, where the people who they're building a lot of new high-rise buildings downtown. So logically, the people who cannot afford that will be moving outside of downtown, in the outskirts, where the value for homes are less. You don't have a $500 price per square foot for an apartment here in downtown. You can get something $200-300 a square foot, maybe in the surrounding areas of downtown. Well, you're able to predict that because you have done your due diligence, and you're able to kind of predict the trend. So precognition, superpower number 2. Superpower number 3, the sense of smell. Hyperosmia. This is the sense of smelling BS. Heightened sense of smell, guys. Those guys that, you're working with an individual and they're giving you the fake hustle. I call it fake hustle. They just BSing you. You should be able to smell that coming off of them. When you work with people, you want to work with straight up individuals. As you start building projects, building homes, renovating property, growing your brand, doing more and more projects, you're going to need to build a team around you. And as you build out that team, there's going to be individuals that's going to give you what I call the fake hustle, give you BS. Oh, I'm doing this, or I'm doing this, and you can smell it. You can smell it on them. It's just taking a little bit too much time for them to finish up something. The excuse that they gave for not doing something is a little bit, it's a little bit kind of waffling from them. That they're giving you BS, and that sense of smell will let you know that maybe that person is not right for your team. Enhanced sense of smell, superpower number 3. Superpower number 4, discipline. Now, it is true that you run your own business, and you can run your own business how you want to run your own business. That is a true statement. But if you don't have a routine, if you're not willing to do the work, which means that you may have to get up early, you may have to stay late to satisfy your clients, you may have to go the extra mile. Having that routine is so important. We talked about that a lot in corner class. A morning routine, and that morning routine will drag you through the rest of the day. If you're not disciplined, if you think, oh, I'm going to go to the beach, or I'm going to do these other things, you're not going to last long, and that is a superpower that you will not have. So this morning, I'm going to give you an example. I get up very early, and I kind of start my day very early because there's certain things that goes on that I need to do in the morning, so that I have that time, that flex time, to work with clients, to work with on the projects that we're working with throughout the day. So this morning I actually got up and I needed to talk to Gilbert. This was 6 o'clock in the morning. Gilbert responded. Gilbert, I'm gonna bring you back in.
Yes, sir.
What time do we talk to each other this morning via text?
Oh, pretty early. I don't know. 7:05, maybe earlier.
Maybe early, yeah. I thought it was like 6:50-ish, 7 o'clock, but yeah, very early. And I was just talking about the need to be disciplined, the need to get up early, maybe stay late to satisfy your client. And how, as you build your team out, you need that. You need to have those people that are like-minded and are as disciplined as you. So, you got to get up. I talked to my contractor before I talked to Gilbert. So this was for sure was in 6 o'clock or so. He was up getting his day together. Those type of people are the people that you want to have on your team. Those that are willing to go the extra mile, that are willing to do a good job on time, in budget, super important. And you cannot do that without having a daily routine and being disciplined. Superpower number 4. All right, so before we go to finish up our last 2 superpowers, we're going to take a quick break, come right back and finish up our last 2 and maybe talk a little bit more about something else special. See you on that. All right, welcome back. And I'm your host, David Carmena. This is Corner Class Tampa, and we are talking about 6 superpowers that you need to be an outstanding, a successful, a high-powered superhero. All right, six superpowers that you need. We covered the power of gratitude, super important. We talked about the ability to see the future, precognition. We talked about enhanced sense of smell, be able to shake the BS people off of you, off of your team. That's super important. And we talked about being disciplined. Very important. All very, very important. Superpower number 5 is empathy, the ability to understand and share other people's feelings. That is one of the superpowers that are sorely missing in a lot of investors, is that they don't craft the deal to be a win-win deal. They're not feeling the sense of urgency or the empathy, or they're not of the other party. Are they thinking about only making their ROI, making a profit on the deal? Well, that is important. ROI is important, but then also crafting the deal so that it is a win-win. You win, but also the homeowner, the seller wins, because they have needs. Also, a lot of times they may just say, hey, listen, I need to do a couple things here. I want to take care of any type of enforcement liens or taxes, back taxes, or the mortgage. But then also on top of that, I may need an extra $20,000, $30,000 because I need to move to another maybe a assisted living facility, which has happened on our end with Carmena acquisitions, or I'm moving out of town, or there's a medical bill or medical procedure that I need this money for. Crafting that win-win, the ability to be empathetic, to understand the other party, is important. It's important to the deal, because what happens now, that's assuming, of course, is that you've done your comps and that there's a little bit of extra meat on the bone, and you can craft a deal where it is a win-win situation. If that is the case, then yeah, go ahead. Try to make it a win-win. Be empathetic, because more often than not, they're going to come back and they're going to say, hey, I appreciate you. I realize that you could have taken advantage of me. You did not. And I'm going to tell my friend who's in the same position, who wants to sell a house, I'm going to refer you. I'm going to make sure that the community, my my sphere of influence, the people that I touch every day, I'm going to tell them about you. And I'm going to make sure that your brand, your reputation, how you are thought of in the community is golden, is positive. I'm going to go to social media. I'm going to recommend your company. Doing the right thing is always the right thing to do. So if you can craft a win-win situation, that's what you should be doing, guys. Superpower number 5. And then superpower number 6, have fun. Have fun. Life is too short. If you're doing something that you do not like, do not want to do not see a future in it, can't have fun with it, it's not worth it, guys. It is not worth it. The superpower, all of the people that I have seen that are successful, wildly successful in the real estate game, all of them have tons of energy because it's fun. They're having fun. You know, the old saying that if you do a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. And that's so true. Is that one of my nightmares, guys? I'm going to share something a little bit with you guys. One of my nightmares is having to go to a job where I do not want to be there. I've been lucky in my entire career. All the jobs I've had, I enjoyed. And for the last, 20 plus years, I have been an entrepreneur and having my own business. Before real estate, I had a consulting company. And then after the consulting company, I think I may have mentioned on the show, I took a break, played golf for a couple of years, and then decided to help out a friend actually in real estate. And that kind of brought me into the real estate. And I really, really enjoyed. I really enjoy getting up. I really enjoy helping people. I really enjoy what I do. So having fun with what you do, super important. If you're in real estate or any field, guys, and you're not having fun, oh man, do something else. Do something else. Because life is too short and you should have fun. And then special bonus is not on here, but it's part of having fun is learning how to smell the roses. Take breaks. After you complete a project, treat yourself. Take a break. If you have set up your company right, those breaks could be tax write-off. Now, I want to say I am not a tax official. I'm not a CPA. I'm not a personal planner. Do not sue a brother. I'm not saying, talk to your tax person to make sure that these are legitimate write-offs of your taxes. But if you're going somewhere and you're doing a business plan, or if you're going somewhere and you're looking at property, or you're showing a client, or you're taking a person to dinner and to talk about business, those are potential tax write-offs. And you can coordinate your fun time right around that. You can go to Puerto Rico and look at properties and work on your business plan. And guess what? Potentially, there may be some write-off there. So having fun, smelling the roses, super important, but also set up your company so that you can do that and take advantage of all the tax benefits of a business in the United States of America. That's capitalism 101, guys. Making money, having fun, win-win situation, doing the things that help your community, help yourself, win-win. Recapping. Superpower number 1, gratitude. Superpower number 2, see the future. Superpower number 3, sense of smell. Superpower number 4, ability to stick to that daily routine. Superpower number 5 is empathy, feeling your fellow man. Superpower number 6, having fun. Those are the 5 superpowers that you need to succeed and be a top agent, be a top investor in today's market, be highly successful. This is the secret sauce, guys, to living a better life. Stay grinding.